Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert to your own research. Let's just look at BTC USD on the daily. It's still nothing really has changed in my opinion. I mean, it's still overall choppy. Still hammering down at this support level, and you can denote the support level really at a lot of different places. Let's just clean up this chart. You'll see that there are a lot of different levels all splattered along the 28k to 33k areas. This is like all just like along a lot of support. And drawing like maybe some sort of, you can call it an order block or a demand zone or whatever you want to call it. Drawing something like this probably makes a lot more sense than doing strict SR lines, just because if you look back at the price history back at January of 2021, there's just a lot of different support levels that you can denote overall. Like you can say, hey, like daily close here at $30,200, and it nailed that level several times. You could also denote like this 33k area. Like this has also been support several times all throughout May, and again you could say that this daily close here at 31,600 is also a daily support area, and price just recently bounced off that area. So again, there's so many different SR areas that you can denote all throughout this entire area. It's probably better to think of it more as a general area of support all along 28k to 33k. This area is just like an overall big demand zone, and I think it's easier to conceptualize that unless you are an expert scalper, in which case you'll obviously mark much tighter and smaller levels on lower time frames, which is totally fine too. Obviously, like there's obviously just a lot of skill needed for that, but I would say the vast majority of people are not going to be drawing clean levels on lower time frame charts, and it's important to just understand the context of your trade, in the sense that this entire area is just, it's better to think of it as an overall demand zone, just like overall support. There's going to be support all along this area for now, but there is a lot of concerns that I have. Like for the longest time, I've always thought, oh, this will like go up to like $45,000 to $50,000, and I still believe that will happen. I will say though that the more times this area is tapped, like, you know, the less and less confident I am. Like, as you guys know, I'm a very big proponent of weakening support levels, and to me this just looks like a smaller support level across every bounce. Like you can see right now, like, you know, the bounces on this support demand zone, whatever you want to call it, are getting smaller and smaller, and I'm pretty concerned about this area with drying up demand. Now you could argue this is just all absorption, meaning that a lot of the buyers are absorbing all of the selling going on, and this will be used as fuel to go higher. But in general, I am starting to lose a little bit of hope, I will admit. But for now, I still believe that support is still support, and price will continue to hold at this 31k area. I do believe that 50k will be like the next big level up, and I will be surprised if prices nuke straight down to like 25 or 24 or 20k from here. But you never say never. I mean, this right now, it is a bear market on the daily. Like it's that, to me, that's like not something you can really debate, given this is like lower highs, lower lows, and it just doesn't look very good overall. But with that said, like, again, for the same reasons that I talked about before, I would be surprised if this could nuke down to 20k from here, just because I believe that there has to be more. I still feel that there's more liquidity up higher. But again, maybe I'm just like totally off on this. I've been wrong with this other move before, so let's just see. But for now, the overall context is that it's better just to think about this entire area as support for now, anywhere from 28K to 33K. In terms of trade triggers, there's really not a ton that you can take unless you are scalping on lower time frame charts. I mean, you can do trend lines and stuff like that. Like, there's clearly some opportunity with the trend lines there. There are also smaller SR levels as well. Like, you can definitely tell, like this area around 35K is like going to be a resistance area, as you could see price tapping this over and over again and eventually breaking down. But to me, this is still, it's like easier to think of it as like an overall range. Like, you can tell too that this is just like an overall support area, anywhere from this 30K to 32K area. This has like been support for several times. So again, I think it's easier just to conceptualize this 28K to 33K area as support and just assume that there's going to be a lot of orders still in this area. However, I am concerned because this area is getting tapped over and over and over again with smaller and smaller reactions. So again, whenever you see that, it's generally not super bullish in that regard. So in terms of trade triggers, I mean, there are a few, as I said before. You could potentially just go ahead and short 36K. That's like proven to be pretty good. You could even wait for a break of 36K and then short 41K. That's like certainly another trade you could take. You could consider putting some spot orders along 28K or so. 28K to 30K should have some support as well. Again, it depends on the context. It depends on what you guys are looking for in terms of your overall trading strategy. But to me, this is still really not changed at all. This is still like the same consolidation that we've seen the last several weeks. And I think that anybody that is very, very confident on what's going to happen next, like, I think that they are either going to be a very, very big or very strong expert trader, or they are going to be full of shit, and more likely full of shit in terms of very high confidence of what's going to happen next. I don't think really too many people understand or know what's going to happen next. The best we can do is just hypothesize and use probability. That's what we do as traders, and just use risk management appropriately. So those are my overall thoughts on BTC USD. Let's briefly look at ETH/USD. ETH/USD does not look super good either. I mean, it's hammering this support level at the 618 fib around 1900 several times. As you can see, this level is similar to what I said before. It's an area that's been tapped over and over again, and we're seeing lessening reactions every time. And when we see that, it usually means that this demand level is going to get broken down. And we're seeing this 208 EMA currently acting as support initially back in May for the initial dump, and then now we're seeing a lot of interaction with it. But similar to support and resistance, the EMAs, this can be a great entry or exit, but when you see price hammering this area over and over again, usually it can be either bullish or bearish given the context, but in this situation, it's more bearish in my opinion. You'll really want to see price just continue to hold this 1900 level, in my opinion. For now, it just really doesn't look super good, and it looks like another leg down is very possible for ETH/USD. For me personally, I would be viewing like the 1500 area, somewhere around this kind of demand area looks interesting to me, and it would be a break under these swing lows here at 1700. With that said, a stronger level, in my opinion, would be kind of this consolidation block along the $1,200 to 1,000 area. This would be like a stronger one. 1250 would be stronger, but it's a 786 fib, and furthermore, if this 16 or 1700 level breaks, then I think it could go even farther down than like this 1500 area. I mean, contextually, like, 15% or so. Like that's obviously a nasty move down, but crypto always likes to fall stronger and bigger than you actually think it will. So overall, like from high time frame charts, like ETH USD does not look super good to me in my opinion, and that's obviously not going to bode well for ETH BTC either. So I guess for me, what I'm looking for ETH USD is just to continue consolidating overall. Like this would be like pretty solid to see this kind of consolidation right here, and that would be a decent result. I would not want to see this 1900 level lost, and more importantly, I wouldn't also want to see the $1,700 level lost either. But this is kind of what I would hope for as a bull for ETH USD. But like again, there are a few trade triggers you can take. Like if you buy here, it's really not a trade, it's just more of an investment. Like that's totally fine, of course, but like trade triggers might be to wait for a break or wait for it to like have a weaker bounce and then short up at like, you know, like the low 2000s and then expecting a breakdown. And a lot of it's really going to depend on Bitcoin as well. Like if Bitcoin makes another a leg down, then this will certainly fall down to like 1200. That's kind of like my overall estimate of what's going to happen if Bitcoin breaks down. But again, I still think that because Bitcoin will have another leg up, I do believe that is still going to happen, and I could be just totally wrong. I do believe that ETH will follow at least up to like low 3Ks or high 2000s. So those are kind of my overall thoughts on ETH USD. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for the support.